Hey everybody, it's Transgurus here. What's up? How's your day going on this wonderful Thursday? We're here to talk about another fun topic and answer anybody's questions, anybody that has. And I guess tonight's theme, we're going to focus on walking the walk and talking the talk, or in other words, leading by example. So, and what would you say would be your thoughts on walking the walk and talking the talk in your own experience?
First off, good afternoon, everybody, and thanks for joining us. Leadership by example is a very powerful statement. I've always kind of thought, say less and do more. And being a parent, I know that my daughter, as people have kids, there's some feedback. We need to take care of that feedback, please. As a parent, a child growing up, the parents are the role models, and the example that the parents give to the child have a tremendous influence, and that's true throughout life. Regardless of your position in life, we all have influence on others, whether consciously we realize it or not. And by walking the walk and walking the talk, that's just a kind of a phrase on how we kind of parlay that concept to other people. I know I live my life in such a way that I try to influence others, verbally and just by my own actions, how I live my life. Being on this panel, I think is an example of that philosophy. And say less, do more. Actions speak a lot louder than words. If you want to find out where someone's at, don't pay attention to what they say. Pay attention to what they do. And I'm getting an awful lot of feedback in the background.
We're not hearing that on our end.
Yeah, Christian.
At least I'm not.
Is it like echo?
I'm not hearing it either.
Okay, well, we can go on to the next person, please.
Sure.
I think it was Bonnie who was going to go.
Okay. Talk the talk, walk the walk. There's five of us, we have five different opinions. And to make it brief, my opinion is if you're going to be in the transgender role, there's no right, there's no wrong. We all work towards our goals. Some people get there quicker, some people get there longer. If you're a female to male and you still paint your fingernails and you dye your hair and you're wearing makeup and you want people to sir you, you're not walking the walk. If you're a male to female, and you have a beard and 1.5 inch long hair on your chest, you're not walking the walk. Now, just to clear that up, let's say, and I went through it when I first transitioned, you don't pass, but that isn't the issue. If you try and you put the effort out and you work towards it, hopefully someday you'll get there. Now, some people go on hormones and they take 2 or 3 years before they actually transition, so their body goes through the changes and they don't have to go through all that turmoil they may deal with the outside public. Some people can't do that. So that's why I'm trying to say whatever's right for the individual is what's right, and there is no wrong. But when I say walk the walk and talk the talk, if you try to be female, may not pass, but you put that effort out, you're walking the walk. And if you're doing it and you're really trying it, you're talking the talk. And a lot of people, you have to understand, just want to blend. They don't want to stand out. They're not looking for attention. They just want to blend in with everybody. And the only thing I can say on that is just do the best you can. Try to be your authentic self in a place you feel comfortable. Listen, if you are on hormones and you're working towards transitioning, you're walking the walk, even though you may still be in your other role, your dead self, whatever, that part, but you're still working towards it. But if you don't work towards it, you shouldn't be rewarded for not putting out any effort. That's me.
Any thoughts on that, Ella?
Yeah, I think that is absolutely correct. I mean, both of my colleagues from Transgurus were absolutely excellent in that thing, because yes, we do have a very, very good role to play as, you know, in the society, that is to be good and to show other people how to help other people. And yeah, and to help other people, we have to as well to present ourselves the best we can. I mean, throughout all my life, I tried to be, you know, someone which is really respectable from everybody, and it did not change when I transitioned. And I work hard. I'll probably a little bit more in the transition, in the transgender area, because let's face it, I mean, it's my brotherhood. These days, it's my brotherhood and sisterhood. But yes, I try to be someone which is respectful, the same way that I try to respect other people. And yes, being passable is very important for me, because, you know, I travel all over the world, and I have to, you know, I have to go through sometimes to places that if they would know that I would be a transgender, probably I wouldn't come out alive. And so passable is important for me. It's not important for everybody. And don't forget, when you transition, you have a start, and it's go slowly by slowly until you get there. And that is something we all have to understand. But, you know, make something for yourself. Make sure, mainly, that you are happy. I think that is very interesting to see that we just had a small video with Lauren, which is actually here. She's listening. I know she's listening. But, you know, she's going to do some facial feminization surgery. Well, if you look at her, she passes as good as, wow, anybody. She doesn't need that.
I second that.
But, you know, yes, she does need that. It's not for the others, it's for herself.
Thank you. I am listening. Thank you.
It's for herself. And in this life, you are the owner of your life. Not the other people are the owners of your life. You are the owner of your life. You have to manage your life. If you want to be respected, yeah, of course, you have to do quite a lot of work to do that, you know? I mean, you cannot imagine what it is sometimes to be in an airport in a country which, you know, it's as homophobic as you can get. You know, internationally, there are some countries right now, we are displaying LGBTQ free zones. That means that they don't accept any LGBTQ people. And sometimes I have to go there, you know. They don't see that I am transgender. I've got my papers, they've done. my papers say that I'm a woman, everything is the right way around. It is my personal life, and I have to cope with my personal life. I know that it is not the same for everybody else. But, you know, this is part as well of showing the way to other people. Some people would like to do that. Some people don't. It's you know, it's the way it goes. And some people, you know, they have difficulty in getting enough money and enough support to, you know, to really go forward. But there's always a way, you know, always a way. So this is my 5 cents.
I'm
I think it's
speechless.
10 cents.
Raji, I just wanted to mention you look beautiful tonight, honey.
Oh, thank you. Flattery's going to get you everywhere, honey. You know how to stroke my ego. Thank you. So, oh, Christian, were you saying something? Is it my turn?
Yes, it is your turn, and I just wanted to say a compliment because I really love your hair tonight, Raji.
Oh, my God.
Really does. Good.
Oh, now I'm going to start blushing. Thank you, Christian. So, okay, so, you know, I think all of us are trying to find our way in life. I mean, we're born into this life. You're growing up with whatever people you have in your life, whatever family unit that is. You know, our parents, when we're little, we look to them for guidance, or our guardians, whether you had parents or grandparents or whatever, the big people in your life when you were little, you look to for guidance. And, you know, after I grew up, I started to be able to see my mom and dad as people. Like, you know, when I was growing up, they were mom and dad, and I was always looking to them, like, for guidance and to tell me what's right and what's wrong. But then as an adult, like, I was able to, like, see my parents as people. Oh, yeah, you know, they had hopes and dreams, and, you know, they were young, and it's almost like I think we think our parents are born the day we're born. And it's like, I was talking to my mom, and she was talking about, like, my mom lives in in Philadelphia, and she was talking about something downtown in Center City, Philadelphia when she was 14, and I was like, oh, that's right, wait a minute. And I know this sounds a little, like, stupid, but in that moment I thought, oh yeah, you were 14 once, and you were taking the subway and going downtown before I even was a thought. So, you know, I say that to say that as we all try to find our way, I think that we all are observing others along the way. And oftentimes, you don't even know when someone's watching. You know, you're just in action, living your life, and there's times where you don't even know you're impacting someone because they're just observing. And so the other day, my mom was at the gas station, and this woman came up to her, and she says, are you Rashindra's mom? Now, like, she says, my mom was like, yes. And because she didn't recognize this person. And she says, oh, I used to go to school with Rashindra, elementary school. Now, this girl might have been like 6 or 7 or 8 at the time. But, like, you know, I don't even know who this person is. But my point is, people remember me from those days. She remembered me enough to be able to say my full name and to even remember my mother, like, so many years later. So people are always watching. And I think one of the biggest things in my life, because you know what, along the way, we make mistakes, okay? Everyone makes mistakes. But hopefully we learn from our mistakes. And I think what I've done with one of the biggest mistakes I've made in my life was when I went to get black market injection. And in my face, I had a horrible reaction. And it just was many years of walking around with a very disfigured face because I made a decision to do something that probably wasn't the right decision. But I say that to say this, I took that, and by sharing my story with the world, like the mistake I made, I tried to be an example for other people. Like, this is what I did, and yeah, it wasn't probably the smartest thing to do. This is what happened to me, and maybe you'll listen and you won't go down that same road. So, sometimes the examples we set and necessarily aren't good examples, but there are ways to rectify that by admitting that, yeah, maybe I made a mistake and this is what I had to deal with. And, there's other ways to go about achieving what I was trying to achieve. So my major goal, I would say, in doing that and like sharing my story with so many media outlets and everything, I always keep in mind that, there's some young transgender girl that's looking in the mirror that still sees the boy in her face, that wish she had hips and bigger breasts. And there's that temptation that, I don't have the money to go do it the right way. Maybe I should go and do the black market. Well, one of my main goals is that I would hope that trans girl, that young teenage girl that's just coming out, would think about someone like me and, use me as an example to not make the mistake I made. So, it's very interesting. And what I tried to do is, put my best foot forward in life. And like I said, sometimes we make mistakes, but I think intentions are the main thing. It's what your intentions are. Like, sometimes, I don't know if any of you all ever do this, where you did something for someone and you thought they were going to take it in a positive way, but for whatever reason, they didn't take it that way. And your intentions you didn't mean to hurt that person's feelings or rub them the wrong way. Your intentions were good. And I think that as we live our life, we have to hold on to that, because if you know that you had good intentions, well, then that's all that matters. Christian?
Raj, I want to just say one thing. I know, just for people that don't know, you were on Botched and you dealt with a lot of the injections. I think we should actually do a show and you should maybe talk about it, because some of the younger transgender people coming up may need to hear what you went through. That's a real something that you could share that is as important as any message we want to convey out there. If that's something.
Yeah, sure. I'd be happy to do that one show. I just thought that was a good example of like something that I used to be an example to other people, So yeah, we can do that one show, or a part of a show, portion of a show. That's fine. So Christian, do you still like my hair?
I think as time goes on, I think I'm growing to love it even more.
That's what I wanted to hear. Thank you, Bonnie, for that. Thank you, Bonnie.
And I second that. I really think that would be wonderful to push that message out there and take our lessons that we're going through life and be able to expand it outside of ourselves. And powerful, Raji.
I just wanted to say this too, that sometimes you can make a mistake, and that mistake may seem in the moment horrible, and like you may even think it's going to be your demise, because I did. When I was going through all of that, it was like a good 10 years of me dealing with medical issues and all of that. I did, have those thoughts like maybe this would be my demise, but that very thing that you think is going to be your demise, you'd be surprised, oftentimes manifests into blessings, and many blessings. And it did for me. It did for me in the long run.
I don't
So
think there are
Christian,
mistakes. They are just learning things. You're just
I
learning
love
curve.
it. I love
You're in
it.
a
Yes.
learning curve.
Learning.
We're learning from all those curves.
Yeah.
So let's hear from you, Christian. Where's your head at?
I'm having a blast. That's where my head is.
Christian.
I can't even talk English right now. You know, I'm just so sucked into what everybody's saying right now. I'm just like, wow, this is so cool. It's almost like Abraham Hicks, Wayne Dyer, like all my mentors are like in one right here on this channel. So,
Oh, thank you.
you know, I'm just
That's a
soaking in
compliment.
it.
That's a compliment.
And you are a mentor of many people too. Don't forget that.
You are.
The work that you've done to become yourself is incredible.
You know, it's taken everybody on this panel that, you know, I look up to help, you know, give me the inspiration. You know, you guys are incredible in my eyes. So I'm every time we get to do this, I'm really thankful and grateful for it. And tonight, everybody had wonderful things to say. I'm just blown away, like how well articulated it was, and I don't even know if I can follow up, but I'll try my best. And you know, I guess walking the walk and leading by example for me, it's like a mixture of everybody's answer, really. I guess when you know, growing up, I used to see, like how Shannon said, I would watch my family. They were the very first influence in my life. And I would be a hawk and all the males in my family and every single thing they did. And, you know, all the guys on TV, I'd always watch them because I wanted to be like them. And I would try to follow suit. And even like my mom and a lot of the women in my family had a huge influence on me. And I would watch, and how I associated with women was much, you know, due to how I was raised, and taking note of everybody and how the dynamic was and how we communicated and how we resolved issues, all the things, all the intricate parts of our life. I kind of pieced it all together through that. And growing up, I carried that with me as like a foundation, as a pretty solid foundation. I decided I was going to, you know, stay hungry and thirsty to gain more knowledge about how to be an even better human being. And as I kept gaining knowledge and kept going through different things, I would try to walk the walk. And no different with my transition, I would see what needed to be done and watch other people's examples and how they did it. And I would kind of copycat their walk for a little while until I was stable enough to do it all on my own, and was it was like a self-perpetuating cycle where I'm able to take this successful habit here and transfer it into any endeavor I go into. And it's like, once you start and you're successful in one thing, you don't have to recreate the wheel. You just take the same roadmap and you just apply it to everything. Like, I can apply the same way that I'm successful in sports to my transition. And that's kind of what I did. And, you know, watching my family and how they operated, I was able to transfer all the way that they were successful. And I guess I get up every day and I just got to be cognizant of what I'm doing and where I'm at and where I could be better. How do I reflect on myself and what's needed to be shifted or changed or adapted. And maybe it's my attitude. Maybe I need to, maybe like I'm like walking the walk, but there's like a limp in my walk. I have a weakness and I have to like strengthen that thing, you know? So evaluate and kind of like assess different areas of my life and where's my strong points, where's my weak points, where do I feel the strongest, where do I feel the most powerful, and then where do I feel weak, where do I feel a little insecure, where do I feel like maybe my ego is getting in the way. and I mitigate all these different thoughts, and you know, it's not like I just sit down, like, you know, and take the time out, oh, time to think about my life. Like, it just kind of comes to me, you know, and as I'm going through and I'm just going through like my day, it just, something's going to come up and I'm able to say, hey, oh, I never thought about that before. And then I think about it a little bit longer, a little bit thoroughly. And I just try to make the necessary change. So when I see other people doing their thing and it's successful for them and they're happy, it's like we're all on the same team. We're all trying to get there too. We're all trying to walk the walk. And you know, it's really something like how Ella said, like, you can't just expect everybody when you're talking the talk, like talking a big game, saying you're going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to have all this success or whatever. You can't just expect everybody to say like, okay, well, here's your respect paycheck. I'm going to give you a paycheck of respect right here, right up front, you know, but, you know, as time goes on and they see you either doing your thing or you're not. And actions speak loudest overall. Look at people's actions. And if that person is worthy of the respect that is owed and valued at that pursuit that they're pursuing, well then, you know, if they're doing it, give it. If they're doing it, give it. And if they're speaking, listen. But I can't advocate to anybody, because I would be lying if you want to give respect to people who just talk the talk and they're not doing anything about it. Sorry, can't. Just not the way. That's just not how reality operates in my life. Never has, and I don't think it ever will change. So yeah, you know, I totally see that point, Ella. And when people can't totally pass, I mean, that's a reality too. But if you're putting in the effort and you're putting in, you know, you're doing all the things that you can, you got to work with the resources that you have at your fingertips, at your disposal first, and then you build upon that. And even so, in the grand scheme of life, if you never pass and you never get to the level that you are visualizing and imagining in your head that you want, that sometimes people are handed that deck of cards, and we have to make peace with that.
You know,
you still get the respect. That is definitely that you actually, I think people like that deserve even more respect, because you're able to embrace this life, knowing that that's your reality, and you're still able to keep going forward, and you're still able to keep your head high, and you're still able to manage your emotions when they get tough and you have to grind it out. Life is not an easy thing that you can just complacently allow to just pass you by. You have to be active. And that's the same thing with your own internal thoughts about yourself and emotions, and keeping control of that. Even when things are crazy and chaotic, you still got to keep control of that, because otherwise you're gonna get leveled out. You will become a non-factor in this game, and you don't want to be someone on the bench. You want to still be in the game, still stay relevant. And that's how we do it, is by continuously working on ourselves and staying reflective and aware of where we're at in this thing called life. And if you're transgender, I salute every single one of you, because it is not the easiest deck of cards that we've been handed. But if we all come together and we keep on building each other up, I think we can all elevate. We can all elevate collectively.
Well, hopefully everybody's enjoyed this. I wish we had more participation from people out there in Facebook land, because we'd have loved to answer questions that could be directed to anyone on the panel and be able to give back. And apparently we didn't have many this time, but next time hopefully we'll have more. And thank you for some. We did have some. I didn't hear of any.
I saw there's Mandy Smith. She was here, and actually she tells us as well that we connect when we have those moments of vulnerability as well, which is very important. I mean, many people actually came. Becky is here. There's quite a lot of people which follow you know, which was following us. And we thank you very, very much for them that come and see us. And we hope that you like it. So, and by the way, Christian, I do agree with you. You know, everybody's got their own goals. And, you know, sometimes they're not always the same. And transgender people, passing transgender people, it's probably something that we'll have to define one day because there's no definition for that.
Yeah, transitioning is a different definition of each individual who's going through it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, I'm just so happy that, you know, the people that did join us, thank you so much, and spread the word, you know. We're doing this because we want to give back to the community, you know, and so that's also, speaking of giving back to the community, speaking of giving back to the community, I tell you, they don't leave me alone. But, no.
And you love it.
Yeah, so like I was saying, you know, we do this to share our experiences and hopefully, you know, touch people in the community. So, you know, by all means, you know, you have questions, you have suggestions for topics, please share with us.
Yep.
Please.
Okay.
And then you can hear Christian tell me how he likes my hair.
I always like your hair, Raj.
You know I'm not gonna let that go.
I hope you don't. I hope you remember it for the rest of your life. And anytime you have a sad day, I hope you are able to get a smile from it. So, is there any finishing thoughts that anybody would like to throw out there, or?
I think it's done.
Okay. So that's it, everyone. Thank you for coming out and spending time with us and taking time out of your day to have an evening with us gurus. So like Raji said, throw out any suggestions, comments, feedback that you have. We would love to hear it. We're honored to be a part of this panel, this team, and we're looking forward to doing it again.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming out. Take care.
Thank you, everybody.